Hey everybody, it's Brandon with RPG Overviews, and we are going to conclude our look into The Valley Out of Time by Skeeter Green Productions. This is for MCC and DCC RPGs. We're going to be looking at Part 5, which is quite robust, quite big, and we're going to be looking at Part 6, Gods Walked Away, which is quite smaller. So I figured we'd just get it all done here in this one video. And please check out the other videos if you're interested in this setting and picking these up. Of course, I'll have links down in the description for both of these. And then at the end, I'm going to give like a total overlook of this series, what I think about it, the good, and maybe some of the stuff that could be a little bit better. So let's go ahead and take a look at number 5. It's called Rotten at the Core. And it's the biggest, I believe, of this series. Cool piece of art here on the cover. I really dig the way that looks, and it's fitting for what's inside it. So I am going to be spoiling this thing like I always do. So if you might play it, I wouldn't watch this video. But yeah, let's take a look inside for those judges who do want to maybe check it out. So again, this is by Skeeter Green. A lot of this beginning section is the same. And this is big. This is about 72 pages. And you can really feel it. There's a lot of work in this. And for $10, this is a really good deal here. I think the best, this is probably the most impressive of all these zines here that we've had, of all these 6 parts, to me, just because a lot of work obviously went into it. And what we have here, in a roundabout way, is 3 dungeon crawls. And so you can get a lot of mileage out of this. So let's go ahead and break into it. And I'm going to kind of go a little bit fast here. Really an overview, just like the channel says. So the Ermin asked for assistance. This lady here, and I'm going to butcher names probably, Barbarite the Rose, I hope that's right. She is the Sict, I think it's called Sict, C-I-C-T, urban tribal leader. She has been captured by the Ophidian Beastmen. Those are those snake men that I've talked about in the other video, and taken to an underground complex for whatever hideous purpose no one knows. Of course you do if you've read that one or seen that video. They seek the leader's return, and they need the help of the characters, the party here. So I like this. The way it's broken down is very nice. It says what they know about it and are willing to share the information about her, how she was taken. So a lot of information is given to the player characters, and it's going to be very helpful in trying to track her down. I think this is a cool piece of art right here. And this group of Ermin are kind of like heroic. They've got armor. They look good. They're big and buff. Very much like the way the back is here. These characters. And they're a little bit different. They're not exactly kind of too primal in their look and how they behave. So we've got stats, and again, we've got stats for both MCC and DCC. I like the way that stuff is bold for things that you need to know. Like these are for when the characters are ready to travel. They organize their band for travel. So you've got 4 warriors and 2 trackers, an omen reader. There's some dino riders. And just very helpful in giving you all that information right there. We've got a bit of a map. And this is going to be for the first dungeon crawl, in essence, the Ophidian Den that we're going to go into. You have to find the clearing and find this place to go in there. There's some natural dangers as well. Like one of these is moving through the brush. The characters notice they have dozens of ticks on their clothing and armor. And the next round, 10 giant ticks emerge from the undergrowth and try to feast on the group. There's some funny things spread throughout it, and some definitely kind of hinting at some things here and there as well, but it's got a lot of monster creature stats in it. That makes it very, very useful, just in case you need some of these stats for maybe another game or whatever you're playing. So this is a good section here, dynamics. It says there are a lot of moving parts, distractions, diversions, and additional opportunities in this adventure, so a sequence of events and some additional explanations is provided here for the judge. This is very helpful. All of this here, giving you a lot of information. The bold is helpful, for taking you to where you need to go, such as finding the clearing or over the hills and far away. You can go find those sections. And just a lot of information here, just as an overall kind of overlook of the adventure. So we're going to be fighting a bunch of snakes here, snakes at the gate. And then there's general characteristics of the den, which is throughout these zines, which is very helpful and let you know about the entire complex, like what the stone's like, what it feels like in there. Is it warm? There's heat emitters. There's dim illumination. It smells terrible. It really hits on the senses, so you can really, let your players know exactly what this place is like. We've got a serviceable map here. It's not extremely pretty, but it gets the job done. There are a lot of small to medium snakes throughout it, and we've got our stats here for it. And you can roll up a d4 to see what snake you come across. And there's going to be a bunch of beastmen. Ophidian centuries, the treasure here. Of course, there's going to be a lot of stones and things like that. You know, it's the same kind of stuff that you found throughout all these zines. And so there's a long and winding road area, you know, really laid out really well. There's an armory, some more art there of these snake men. And then the Ophidian resistance is cool. It says, depending on how quickly the PCs move through the complex and if they were alert, and if the alert hiss was sounded when they entered, the bulk of the Ophidian nest is in various stages of preparation for the character's assault. So I like this. It tells you round by round how they're going to move to defend their den against your attack. It says a timeline of potential events is provided here round for round. So try to go in there sneaky, and it's going to help you out in case it hits the fan, in essence. So it does say here, you know, you need to be familiar with the complex's tactics and how they're going to fight back against you. There's a snake pit with a big snake, obviously a colossal cobra. We've got her stats there for when you free her. As you can see, there's a lot of writing in this scene. I was very impressed by the you know, how much was put into this one. Now, so there is Amru, who is a Rakshasi. And you can see it's got the backwards hand, and it's a real nasty creature. It could be an NPC that you could actually interact with, but more than likely you're probably going to see it and try to kill it. But it's a very powerful creature, and it does play a good role. I do like how it's got the tactics here, letting you understand how it's going to fight you and what it's going to do, because it is very intelligent, so it's not going to be just a thing where it's just going to come at you. It's going to really try to take you on in a smart sense. There's some neat new items here, a scrying mirror, a flying carpet, and a wand of enfeeblement. And then here we go further on. There is a demon ogre, very cool piece of art there, and he's going to be a real nasty foe as well. So some real tough stuff here. This is for later on levels. I believe it's like maybe 8. I can't really remember here. It's something like that. It's 6 to 8, level 6 to 8. So you're going to be fighting some tough stuff. Then we've got, once you free her, there's a good bit of treasure. Probably the biggest treasure I've seen listed for one of these. And then you've got the interlude, over the hills and far away. There's going to be some travel that you're going to do over land. Here we've got some base encounters that you may come across. Acid vine or harpies, maybe bloodgrass, or the Trirex. And it's going to tell you that there's some other zines and books you're going to be able to have to get these creatures from, but it does have their stats here. Again, this is where this makes a very good bestiary book as well. So you may want to get like the Crypto Codex. I've done a video on that. Mutant Crawl Classics, and of course the Valley Out of Time series for these random encounters. Now, as you can see, look at this. Look at all these creature stats here. And this is just great. You have this, you can grab it if you want to throw it into your adventure, if it's something different than this. And you can change the severity of the encounter with this severity table here. Rolling it up. It might be larger, it might be smaller, it might have multiple eyes. And so that's neat. There are some set encounters you need to do, these two here. And neat piece of art there. And then meeting the family is going to be another dungeon crawl. This one's a little bit different. It's going to be about the Nua, and they are kind of like dwarves, I believe. There's a black pudding. Those are pretty nasty. And it's going to give you the characteristics of the Nua Grotto, which, again, very helpful in describing the place. And first contact with them, you're going to need to get their help. You don't want to fight these guys. They will not let you get across a bridge. Here, again, if you try to fight them, it's going to go quite south. So neat interaction there. There's a cool cannon that's there because they are very... they can create some interesting stuff, and it says it is a last resort to repel invaders over the stream, because getting over the stream is where you're going to need to do some good charisma stuff. Okay, so that's a neat section. You see, it's just big. I was very impressed by all this. I was like, wow, he really went to town on this one. Look at all this, the dens, all their stats, the mother lode, the collapsed tunnel. Here's the way they look. And then we've got the Caverns of Yath, Mother Under the Hills. Now, it kind of tells you that there's this area called I believe it's called the Underland, and that's where she is. It's alluded to Yath before in the past. I've talked about it in some of the other videos. And this is a way for you to go down into that den and actually try to take on Yath and her breeding pool. It's what's on the cover here. And it talks about the complex. The general characteristics of the den, again, very helpful. Gives you all that information you need to know in order to give the feel for this place and how it's going to affect the characters. And then we've got the stats, the DCC stats for Yath, Mother Under the Hills, and then the MCC. And as you can see, they're massive. This is a big. This is the last boss battle here for this whole series in essence. She does have some children with her. A cave octopus, and a whole bunch of other creatures, as you can see here, deep ones that may come and help. You've got shrewmans, underdark slugs, a whole bunch of stuff, trolls and witherwalks. There's proto-gelatinous creatures as well, her offspring. They're not fully cooked, so that's interesting. And then how do you get out of that place if you're able to take it on? So very neat, cool piece of art here. And then we've got our Appendix A. It's got the new ermines with I think that's called the Sict ermines. That's those heroic ones, the Nua, which are kind of the underground race of kind of dwarves. And then, of course, Yath. Again, they kind of redo the stats, as you can see how big they are there. And then we've got our weapons and armor, Appendix B again, that's been in the back of all the other ones. So very neat one. This one's very impressive. A lot of work went into Rotten at the Core. I highly suggest you pick this up if you've liked this series. And then we have Part 6, Gods Walk the Valley. It's much thinner, as you can see, but it's got some neat stuff in it. And what it's got is it's plug and play. That's kind of how these encounters are. We have the Living Jungle, and this encounter is going to involve a dryad and a topiary thing. Pretty much an encounter with some trees that are going to try to kill you, and she's there as well, and she's kind of mad you've been hacking away at her jungle. So you've got animated palm trees. And then you've got the summoning encounter. Now this thing here, I'm going to just straight up and say it, I believe this is straight up heavy metal with the Lochnar and summoning ritual sacrifice here. If this big creature's coming out of the pool, here's the Lochnar here. You should know about heavy metal, the movie. It's fantastic, and I love the fact that this is kind of in that same vein. I believe that's what it was going for. I may be wrong. I'm not sure, but a neat encounter, neat, kind of save the day here. Hopefully, don't summon up this terrible beast. Here's the Orb of Power, or the Lochnar, in my opinion. And it's got it as DCC and MCC right there. And then one thing I really like here is this timeline of conflict. So with everything going on, it gives you round by round what's going to be happening, and how far the characters are away from things, what's going to be, what the bad guys are going to be doing. It may summon up these horrors of the deep. It's a prime ooze that's coming out of this pool. And it just says like this: if the high priest, unless engaged, notices the horrors and the ooze's arrival and begins retreating to the ziggurat, and if engaged, the priest uses, it tells you each thing to help you along to run this encounter. I've always really enjoyed that because sometimes these are really difficult to run, when you've got a lot of moving pieces to it. So it's got the prime ooze and all its stats, as you can see, very nasty. Of course, again, this is high level stuff. Horror of the deep, and then we have ancient hero. This encounter. Maybe this is 4 encounters. I think it's 4 encounters total. This is a thing where you kind of find this underground tomb, and you're going to search. You have to try to get into it. Again, really laid out really well here. And there's going to be a skeletal champion with some of his bannermen in there that you're going to have to fight. So kind of neat. And this is an encounter you could definitely put in any DCC game or MCC to throw into your adventures there. Very cool. And then you have the Isle of Goldenmot. I believe that's how you say it. It talks about the flame from the sky. It was a powerful tool from the sky tribes hurled into the valley to either destroy everything or seed the valley with life. So there's a new magic item here, the Bloody Hand, which is a mighty two-handed sword. It's an axe-like weapon of brutal design and bloody history. It is very strong, two-handed sword +2, but it is cursed. And it does some great damage, but you have got to kill somebody or some sentient life every 24 hours. Or if not, you're going to take damage, or you're going to take some fierce stat loss. So very cursed weapon, but very strong as well. So you're going to go check out this Isle of Golenmot, and come to find out there's this huge pool full of insects, but there is a giant snapping turtle there. So that's actually what Golenmot is, a giant snapping turtle. You're going to have to try to fight it. And then again, of course, we've got some treasure here. He's not a treasure hoarder, but there could be some incidental items if you want to include them. But of course, the actual thing is the ancient meteorite that created the crater that's in this pool. It is an artifact from space, and it radiates a curious energy, faint radiation that causes plants to grow abundantly. And that could be very, very valuable to the right person. So then we've got our Appendix A, the new monsters, the ancient hero, we've got the bannerman, we've got this, I like how it breaks it down from each one, the summoning, the Isle of Golenmot, you got the hard ID. So was it 3? I think, let's see. My brain's going crap here. So, Ancient Hero, it is 3. Island of Golenmot and the Summoning with the Prime Ooze and the Terrible Horrors of the Deep. Again, our section here about the weapons and the armor, and that wraps this one up. So, some cool little encounters here, and they all are the same price. This one's much different and much more involved, obviously, with these dungeon crawls, and these are easier, quicker encounters that you can have in the Valley Out of Time. So here they are, all 6 of them. I hope you've enjoyed the series that I've done, and this won't be for everybody. In wrapping these all up, the people that really want to try to do something different, I think they're going to really enjoy them, kind of break out from maybe some of the stuff they have been doing, or to throw their player characters into a completely different area that they may not be used to and be able to explore and create some stuff that's neat. What would I say is really good about it? It's got a great feel. It's got a great feel about it. Nothing is just kind of not described or just kind of hand-waved. A lot of deep description about the way that this place is so that you can really bring it to life. I think it's one of the best things about it. If I was going to say anything that I think, I guess would be negative about it, some of the encounters overall, this whole series, or a lot of them are, and it's just how it is you coming across some big creature and it's going to try to kill you. And, yeah, that kind of is an ongoing kind of theme when it comes to the encounters. But some of them do change it up, especially there at the end with this Gods Walk the Valley, this part 6, that should go there. And there are some neat, things that you can expand on. There isn't a map. Now, I understand that, it's almost probably impossible to map this whole place out. It could have been a hex map somewhere, and it could have said, hey, look, if you don't want to use this is maybe a suggestion for you. Or if you need a map, here it is. But this thing is not exactly something that is, definitive. And this is the way that this valley is, and you've got to stick to this. But a hex map would have been cool. I would have also enjoyed a lot more of maybe like unique land structures or mass or whatever it is, land features. I do like the Isle of Golenmot at the end, Golenmot, I should say, at the end. I like the dens. Anytime it's telling you of an actual place instead of just you're coming across, like a hill or there's a field and then there's monsters in the encounter. I like to have some interesting places maybe. It'd have been cool to see like a fully statted out, just not exactly a town, but just maybe a region or again a unique landmark somewhere in the valley. That would have been cool. But to me, those are very minor. This is definitely for judges who are okay with coming up with stuff on the fly, creating their own villages, creating their own places and locales. But it's a neat series. I enjoyed it. I like what I saw from it. Again, a lot of good work has gone into this for a zine. Especially this Rotten to the Core. This is just a lot of work. Fully knowing that they're all priced the same. And you get a variety of mileage for the different sizes for what they are. I definitely enjoy the kind of bestiary one here of the Danger Valley, as it has a lot of creatures in it, I believe. A lot of these new monsters, the Demon Ogre and stuff like that. These are all very helpful. Exploring the valley had a lot of stuff. This is actually the bestiary one. My brain's all crap. So this is just a super helpful one right here, just to have all these creatures for this game, for this setting, and for other settings as well. So there it is, the Valley Out of Time. I hope you've liked this series here. If this is something you'd be interested in, definitely check a look at the links, watch the other videos, and stay tuned, hopefully, for some more videos from me. And thanks for subscribing, And all the new people that have joined the channel, thank you very much. And I'll see you next video.